Hey mamas, I am so excited that you're here. This week on Confessions of a Small Biz Mama, we are talking about your MVC. All right, what is MVC? MVC is your minimum viable care. Now listen, I know that a lot of you are, you're getting things done. You are chasing the kids. You are trying to get your business going, but you wish you were more productive. Maybe there's brain fog, you're having trouble focusing, and you're just not getting done what you want to get done because you can't get your brain in gear to do it. That's where MVC comes in. MVC is the minimum viable level of care that you need to do to be productive. And so today, what I want to do is I'm going to tell you what my MVC is, talk a little bit more about this concept, and invite you to create your own list. So let's get started. So I know a lot of people talk about, peak performance and how do I get to peak, right? And it seems to me like I treat myself like crap. I don't do the things I need to do, and awesomeness, right? And we're not setting anything in between. And so I really believe that there needs to be this minimum level that you say, you know what, I can't operate unless I'm at least here. Now, I know I want to do better. I know that, I want that peak. I want lots and lots and lots of energy. But right now, things are kind of nuts, right? And in my world, so as I'm recording this, we are leaving in a week, okay, to move to our new house. So it is nearing the end of, the normal tax deadline. We're trying to pack up the house. We're trying to make sure that we're spending time with Eric. We're trying to close on one house and then close on the other house a week later. And things are just nuts right now. And so it is really important for me to keep in perspective what are the minimum things, right, that I need to do. Because if I don't do these things, I can't focus at my desk. I can sit at my desk all day long and I'm not going to get anything done. And so I think it's really important. Now, listen, I'm going to give you my list. These are my things. Your things might be completely different. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think about, what are the things that help you focus? What are the things that you need to do so that you can get done what you need to get done? Okay, so I'm going to give you mine just so you have an idea. Okay, and then I'd love to know what yours are. And I'll tell you how to post yours and where to post them. Okay, so this is my 5. And again, your 5 could be completely different. And I probably could have done more than 5. But when I really boiled it down and I thought about, okay, what are the things that if I could only do these 5 things, I could still focus at my desk? Because, I think a lot of times, so I'll tell you the things didn't make the list. Like taking my supplements did not make the list. Because I know if I get the morning dose in and I miss the afternoon dose, I'm still okay. If I get some of them in, but not all of them in, I'm literally sitting here looking, and next to my water is a little bowl with the rest of my vitamins, and I'll take them when I'm done recording. See, that's I'm telling you, this is what happens. So I really sat down and went, okay, if I don't do this, no, I can't function. I'm not functional. Okay. And so again, these are my 5 things. If I don't do them, I have a really hard time sitting at my desk and getting work done. Okay. And that's kind of the way that I thought about this. So the first one, and I know I say this all the time, I have to get 7.25 hours of sleep. So I have to get 7 hours and 15 minutes of sleep. I know that sounds like a really weird number. But that's my minimum viable hours of sleep. I notice if I get 7 hours of sleep, I'm kind of a little in the morning. If I get more than that, I feel better. But that seems to be the level that's that minimum viable level. Okay. So like I said, 7.25 hours, 7 hours and 15 minutes seems to be the sweet spot for me. The next one is I need to drink 32 ounces of water per day. And I'm going to take a drink. 32 ounces of water. Now, I would love to get to 64. Okay. I've noticed that 20 is not enough. I know. I drink other things during the day. I drink coffee and I drink tea, but I've noticed that like if I get at least 32 ounces of water, I feel good. I feel better if I drink more. Again, remember, this is minimum viable, but if I drink less than that, I feel kind of bleh, right? And we're trying to not feel bleh. So 32 ounces, and I put magnesium and trace minerals in my water. And that really helps with my energy levels, and it helps so I don't get cramps at night in my feet. And like, I found like that's, if I can get that in, that really, really helps. Okay. So for me, remember, this is my list. This is not your list. This is my list. 7.25 hours of sleep, at least 32 ounces of water with trace minerals. And I actually bought like a 32-ounce water bottle that I drink from during the day. And that really, really helps me kind of measure. And I actually, since I'm trying to get from 32 to 64, I actually bought a second one so I can just fill them both up in the morning and have that at my desk. If I get those two down, I will buy a third water bottle, and I'm, trying to get closer to 100, but baby steps. This is not about perfection. This is about minimum viable care. Okay. Number 3, I have to take a morning shower and get dressed. Like, I don't know what it is, but my brain will not turn on unless I've gotten in the shower, right? And I've gotten dressed. Like, I know people are like, oh, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I work in my pajamas. I can't do that. My brain just doesn't turn on. And so if I need to be productive, for the day, I have to take a shower and get dressed. And I'll tell you that it is very rare that I do not shower like right after I wake up. I think sometimes when we go camping in the motorhome, I will make breakfast before I shower. But that's very, very, very rare that like I don't get up and shower and then start my day. It's my thing. It's my thing. Like I said, this is my list. It doesn't have to be your list, right? But these, like, it's funny because over the years I've really sat down and said, okay, what are the things I have to do if I want to get things done? Okay. So that's kind of like the stuff, I've got to kind of get ready in the morning. Number 4, I need to fill out my planner, and I need to have a big 3 list for the day. So I've talked about this before in other episodes, but essentially, I use the Full Focus Planner. I've used it for a year now. I really, really like it. I know I've talked about other planners before. I like the Passion Planner. It just doesn't have enough goal-oriented stuff in it for me. I love the Brendan Burchard High Performance Planner. It has great questions in it, but again, it's not helping me achieve my goals in the way that this one does. I love the fact that I put my goals in here for the year, and then I break it down by quarter, and then I break it down by week, and then every day I'm looking to see, am I achieving those goals? So I really, really like that. And every day I set my 3 most important tasks for the day. It's funny because we also do this on our daily focus planner, and we've had our daily focus planner out for years and years. And so I think it's really important to focus on what are the big 3 things you need to get done today. I just think that's really critically important. So what that does for me when I fill out my planner. So first of all, I always fill in like what's on my schedule for that day, right? So what meetings do I have? What calls do I have? What things, what's like on my schedule? Because I think what happens is if we don't look at our schedule first and we plan what we want to do that day, a lot of times it's just not realistic, right? And so for me to be productive, I have to fill out this page. I need to know what my schedule looks like. I need to know what I can get done in the spaces between the items in my schedule. and then get those things on my schedule as well. Okay. And if I do not do that in the morning, I'm just I'm completely discombobulated. I don't know where I'm going. And that's really important to me. And then number 5 is I have to move for 20 to 30 minutes every day. I just know, like, if I don't move, I completely lose like all focus. And even if I do like 3 10-minute walks, that works just fine. We have, so in our current neighborhood, and actually in our new neighborhood, we also have the same thing. There's like a circle, okay, that I can walk around. And it's like a 10-minute loop. And so I will start a podcast episode, or I'll start a video in a course that I know I can listen to, and I'll do the loop. I notice that when I do these, I am way more productive in the afternoon. So I found that a lot of times if I just do the first 4, that will get me through the morning. The thing that pushes me through Eric's rest time is getting my movement in, getting my blood flowing, getting outside in the fresh air when I can, just really helps me to get recentered and refocused for the afternoon. So typically what happens in our house is Jeff watches Eric in the morning, and then I watch Eric in the afternoon, but Eric gets his rest time in the afternoon, which gives me usually a little bit more time to work. But so I typically have a break from like 11:30 to 1, and having that hour and a half long break really makes it difficult for me to get refocused. So when I use part of that break, and I've noticed, like, I've tried to cut it down to an hour, right? So like I'll have lunch with Eric, and then we'll go upstairs, we'll read a book, I'll lay him down. Sometimes he gets right back up and plays, and that's fine. But even if I cut that back to like an hour, I find that doesn't work. And so what I'll do is I'll add some additional time at the end so that I can go for a walk, or I can get a move in. Sometimes that move is, there's a fitness video game that I have that's called Ring Fit Adventures. It's for the Switch. I'll play that, or I will get on my treadmill and, maybe I'll watch like an episode of something, or I'll watch a course that I'm taking, or I'll listen to a podcast episode. Or I love getting outside. Like that to me is like the best form of movement for me, because there's just something about being outside that just recharges my soul. And so those are my 5. So again, my 5 are 7 hours and 15 minutes of sleep a night, a minimum of 32 ounces of water with my magnesium and my trace minerals in it, my morning shower and getting dressed, filling out my planner with my big 3 items for the day, and then moving for 20 to 30 minutes. If I get those 5 done, everything else can go to crap that day. I can get my focus in at my desk so I can get things done. So I would love to know what your 5 are. And listen, this is something that like evolves, okay? But the reason I think that this is so important is that when we're really busy, when like everything else is hitting the fan, you can sit down and go, okay, if I can just do these 5 things, right? And then these 5 things become like a checklist for you. Maybe they're one of your big 3 items, like my 5, my MVP or my MVC, okay? My MVC is one of my goals. Or maybe your MVC becomes your startup routine, right? Or your morning routine. Whatever your MVC is, that becomes a critical part of your day. Okay. And so I'd love to know what your MVC is. You can post it in the Small Biz Mama community. We'll put the link in the show notes at smallbizmama.com. But I'd love to know what yours are, because I think the more we can kind of crowdsource this and put our list together, it's really going to help other people. Okay, so go to the Small Biz Mama community on Facebook. If you're not a member, you can just ask to join. Make sure you fill in the questions. We do not let people in if they do not fill out the questions. But I'd love to know what yours are. And let's do this. Let's get, let's stop aiming for perfection and let's aim for a little bit better than yesterday. Because honestly, that is the best way to go. And that's my alarm saying it's time for me to go hang out with Eric. So this is perfect timing. All right, mamas, I hope that you have a magnificent week. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And I can't wait to see what your MVC is. Make sure you post it in the Facebook group at the Small Biz Mama community. All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.